Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Today I'll be showing you another restoration project I've been working on, and this video is for Matt, who owns this really nice Minimoog Model D. So this one got a full restoration, including a new cabinet by Wes Taggart. Amazing job, Wes. Shout out to you. Absolutely fantastic cabinet build. But anyways, I took this one all apart as usual, cleaned everything, rebuilt the keyboard assembly, went to all the circuit boards, installed a brand new overlay metal interface panel. This was all warped up, not uncommon on these things. New LHC panel, and then also new badges. So it's got everything new. Everything was really warped on this one, mainly just because the badges and everything during this era was made of vinyl, and they tend to shrink depending on the temperatures, and they'll actually kind of bow out and they'll warp, and sometimes if it's not real bad I can flatten them back out. But as requested by Matt, I want to replace these with new ones. So it's got all new, pretty much all new panels and new cabinet, and everything else just been rebuilt. So it's a very, very nice Minimoog now. But I'll walk around it just kind of let you see it. This beautiful wood. I think this is maple, and it's just absolutely, it's just absolutely beautiful. It's got this this grain to it that just looks really good. I wasn't sure about the color at first, I'll be honest, but now since I've got it all together, it looks good. It's got a nice coloration to it. I'll just walk you on around here. You can see the cabinet there, just how beautiful it looks. You can see all these grains and everything that runs in this wood. Walk here on back here. Let you see this thing. Cleaned everything up really good. This thing was really dirty. And this was the era of Minimoog that I've mentioned before, which I refer to as the butt ugly brown. It's just where Moog would just stain on flat brown, so you didn't get any wood, any grains. So this chassis is a big improvement. But seal number 9899, this thing was actually built in March 14th, 1978. Is when this one's actually built. And so it's a later Minimoog. As mentioned, it's still got the version 2 oscillator board. They wouldn't start putting the version 3 until 1979. So it's right there at the end of using the version 2 oscillator board. You can still purchase them as a update, but pretty much they all come factory with a version 2 up to this point. But new badge here as well. But just cleaned it up really good. New old stock new old stock pitch and mod wheels. These were cracked really bad, damaged, but you can just kind of see just how clean everything is. Cleaned all the knobs, cleaned all the pots, flushed everything, lubed all the pots, switches, everything. So it's been really cleaned up and just really fantastic. But I'll bring you on around here. We'll walk around this way. But once again, you can see even on this side, just that wood, that grain, it's just beautiful. It's a really beautiful instrument now. But yeah, you can just kind of see. Now these panels, for those interested in getting these panels, they're actually made in Argentina by a friend of mine by the name of Hernan Baldi. I believe I'm pronouncing his name right. If not, I apologize, Hernan. But he makes these panels, and they're really good. I highly recommend them if you're looking for a panel. He's usually got them listed on the eBay site, and you can actually pick them up there. But they're just really nice. They're aluminum, so they kind of go back to the early idea of Minimoog design, using a metal interface panel, but they're screen printed really nice. Everything matches up really nice. All the holes are drilled precisionally, so it's not like you're trying to fidget this thing in, getting it to fit. It actually sets right in place. And so I'll give Hernan a shout out there on these interface panels for those looking for them. Also, these badges are metal as well, but they're cut. You can actually have the option of round corners, which have been the correct era for this Minimoog, or the hard square corners like early Minimoogs. And so of course I went with the factory style badge for this era to kind of keep it in the right era. But it's just a really nice Minimoog now. And let me put the camera on the tripod now, and I'll walk you guys through the sound here so you can hear this thing in action. Okay, I'm just going to start now just by showing you this thing as a whole. We'll just play through, and then I'll go through the oscillators, the filter, the contour generators, and just kind of show that everything's functioning here for you, Matt, but for anybody else that's curious as well. I always enjoy you guys watching the videos, so feel free to comment and watch. I always enjoy this stuff. But anyways, we'll start here just with a sound I've programmed. It's kind of a bassy kind of sound. Just a typical Minimoog flavor here. But as you can hear, so anyways, you can hear it sounds fantastic. It's a great sound of Minimoog now. I'm going to go through each oscillator. We'll open this filter up here. We'll start with the sawtooths. We'll get everything set up here. So we'll start with oscillator 1. Show you this function. Of course, you've already heard the oscillators together here. But here's just oscillator 1. We'll go through the actual waveforms, etc. And just kind of show you that everything's functioning here. Show you the octave ranges, how well they are. Clean the volume pots as well. Smooth reaction there. So there's oscillator 1, here's oscillator 2. Set it back to 32. So there's oscillator 2, here's oscillator 3. I'll go back to it and I'll show you that the detuning works well. Here's oscillator 2. So there's oscillator 2, here's oscillator 3. So there's all three oscillators you can hear combined. Now I'm going to show you how the octave ranges work. But you can hear how accurate these things are. Of course, I had to retune those because I knocked them out a while ago when I was showing you. But we'll go through the ranges down. So you can hear how accurate the actual footages are of those oscillators. And there's your oscillators. So as you can hear, they sound fantastic. Everything's well tuned. It just plays really great. Turn the oscillators off, I'll show you the noise source work. So here's white noise with the volume control. So there's your noise source. Now I'll show you that the filter works. So we'll go here and I'll set the filter up to self-oscillate, and we'll make it track the keyboard. Turn the contour generator off for the amount of contour. So it's just a filter. I'll show you too that the modulation works here while we're here. We'll actually put a little FM synthesis from Oscillator 3. It's still a audio source. Now we got a ring modulator because we've turned tracking off of the Oscillator 3. So there's that. We can also turn the oscillator 3 into LFO source, so low frequency oscillator. Slow it down here. So as you can hear. So that's it in the modulation bus. We can also engage noise in that using this modulation mix. I'll show you that real quick. So anyways, that's your modulation section a little bit there too. We can turn up the amount of contour. We can also change the tracking of the filter. So right now we got tracking full. We can turn switch 2 off. It's going to be just half track. Turn both switches off. No track. Switch 2 only. The both switches together on. You can get full tracking. So that's your tracking modes. We've got the amount of contour here. We'll actually turn tracking off. So we'll bring up the amount of contour. I got everything set to 0, so it's going to be just a click. We'll bring up decay. Turn it down in frequency a little bit. So that's your decay time there. We got the attack time. Of course, we can adjust the amount of contour here, so you can hear I turn it down just a little bit because it gets really high in frequency. For example, if I turn it all the way full, you'll hear it's got a full response. The amount of contour is just an attenuator between this and your filter. So that's your attack. We got the sustain level. It basically sets how low the decay goes. So you can hear. So that's your filter section. So open this filter back up. We'll turn the oscillator back on. Set this back. So here's your oscillators again. Now I'm going to show you that your loudness control works. So we'll set everything to 0 here. It'll be just a click. Actually turn the decay switch on as well. It's just a click. We got the amount of decay. So that's your decay amount, and then we've also got the attack, set everything back to 0, it's just a click. as your attack. And then we'll bring a sustain level. Same thing you got here, you got a sustain level. So everything's set to 0. So as you get this kind of percussive kind of bring up the decay just a little bit. Get this thing really adjusted. Basically, I'm just playing with the re-trigger there. So it's just I'm just releasing all the notes and it'll reset it, as you can see. So way you can get a more percussive kind of action here. And of course, when you combine that with the filter, we'll close the filter a little bit. Put just a little bit of a slower attack on the filter. And they got some of those really classic kind of tones there. But that's your loudness contour. Also your sustain, your decay switch works here. So if we set up a, open this filter back up. So if we hit this decay switch, it's actually going to make everything go to 0. Otherwise, it's going to fall out the decay time. As you can see, versus. So that's a really handy switch. Your glide works, which you've already kind of heard the glide. So that's your glide there. Also, something I didn't mention in the oscillator section, I did the dead zone mod, which I do to all Minimoogs. And what that does, that gives you a true dead center in your pitch wheel. So when you return it to the detent, which all Minimoogs have a detent that you fall into, it actually makes it 0 volts. So it gives you a more precise pitch bend, and you don't have any sharps or flats when you return the wheel. So as you can see, we'll turn off all the oscillator except for one. But if I wiggle it within the detent, it's not going to affect tuning. You can see. So it makes it really handy, especially if you use the wheel a lot. It keeps you from having to reach up here and retune for sharps and flats as you use this wheel. Because most Minimoogs, even when you return them to the detent, they're a little flat or sharp. It's just kind of the way they are. But with this, there's no more of that problem. So as you can see, so that's pretty much your Minimoog. Just want to go over it for you, show everything's functioning for you, Matt. I will show you that all the notes work. I hadn't done that yet. So go back to one oscillator here, open this filter up. And I'll just go down the scale of the keyboard so you can hear that all notes are actually triggering correctly. So here, that's all the notes. But that's pretty much it. Also, the modulation does work in your oscillators too. I didn't bring that up. So I actually turn oscillator 3 back to LFO source. So that's your modulation source. Same thing here. If you turn this to noise, you'll inject noise into the oscillator. Anyways, that's your Minimoog. I just want to go for you, show things functioning. And as always, guys, appreciate you watching, and there'll be more to come here very soon. Take care.